So, let's see, if this is Dunkey like I think it is, then it is actually maybe a comedy. So, let's take a look.
Okay, I can do this. Metal Gear Solid 1 is the third game in the Metal Gear series and the seventh game in order of the timeline. It takes place 6 years after Metal Gear 2.
Well, a little fast. Hang on. Okay, hang on.
And the seventh game in
Third in the series, seventh in timeline. Starting with Snake Eater, Peace Walker, Ground Zeroes, Phantom Pain, original Metal Gear, Metal Gear 2, Metal Gear Solid, Solid 2 Sons of Liberty, then Metal Gear Solid 4. Holy fuck, yeah, this is convo-fucking-looted. Holy shit. Yeah, well, undoubtedly, Revan. Also, I didn't think... Wait a minute. Ground Zeroes and Phantom Pain were not 10 years apart, were they? I thought Ground Zeroes and Phantom Pain were literally back to back. They were 10 years apart? They really were like 9-10 years apart. So that medic was in a coma for 9 years? Huh. Okay. I didn't think it was that long. Yeah. I didn't think the time jump between the two of them were that long. Like, I knew that he was in a coma, but I didn't think it was like almost a 10-year coma. Yeah. No, I understand, Skull, I know that they were released back to back. That much I know, because Ground Zeroes was basically like a tech demo, effectively speaking, for the Phantom Pain. But I didn't think that there was almost a 10-year gap between the two of them in game.
In order of the timeline. It takes place 6 years after Metal Gear 2, Solid Snake, who is a secret agent that has to infiltrate Shadow Moses, which is a secret base that was captured by Foxhound, who is holding the United States hostage for the remains of Big Boss, who is the same guy as Solid Snake, except with an eye patch. Solid Snake, not Big Boss, sneaks into the air vent to save DARPA Chief, but then he dies. So you fight a man called Revolver Ocelot, but your duel is interrupted by a mysterious ninja called Gray Fox, who is a man called Frank Jaeger, who used to be in Foxhound, but then defected to Zanzibar.
Wait. Hey, what did that say?
Who is a man called Frank Jaeger, who used to be in
this version of Foxhound, not the new one with Liquid Snake, which is this one. Which is also, if you remember, got flipped to XOF for Phantom Pain. Phantom Pain had this patch with the letters flipped XOF. Fuck.
Foxhound, but then defected to Zanzibar because he was in love with a former figure skater from Czechoslovakia. Because he is a robot, he has to cut off Revolver Ocelot's hand. Then Snake finds a peeing man called Otacon, who is the son of a famous scientist that killed himself because his second wife cheated on him with his own son. You see, Otacon's
Wait. What did he say?
Killed himself because his second wife cheated on him with his own son. You see,
his second wife cheated on him with his own son? What? I was not aware of this with Otacon. What? Always brought... Oh, okay, I never played Metal Gear Solid 2. Okay, that's why I didn't know. Who is his second... Who the fuck was his first wife? I did not even know that Otacon was married in the first place. Yeah, I'm guessing the son from his second marriage, or from his first marriage, his second wife cheated on him. Jesus. Holy fucking Alabama. Okay, but Otacon's dad was still fucking Otacon. That name was passed down through the generations. Like, this Otacon fucked his stepmother. Yeah, I guess this Otacon from the Metal Gear Solid franchises, from Metal Gear Solid 1 and 2, fucked his stepmom. Which begs the question, how did Otacon in Phantom Pain survive? The last we saw, he was fucking adrift off of Mother Base in a rubber dinghy. How the hell did Otacon survive that? He ain't got no legs, Lieutenant Dan.
Son, you see, Otacon's father, Huey Emmerich, built...
Wait, what did he say there? It's been a while since I played Phantom Pain. You forced your own son into the cockpit of a Metal Gear. You did? God, I don't remember this. I do not remember this from Phantom Pain.
Huey Emmerich built Metal Gear Zeke for Naked Snake, and then built Metal Gear Philanthropist for a man called Skullface. This is why Otacon builds a secret robot called Metal Gear Rex for a man called Liquid Snake, who is a clone of Solid Snake, created from the DNA of Big Boss, who is also known as Naked Snake, who is both of their fathers, and he has an eye patch. Solid Snake is tricked into
Question. They were cloned from Big Boss. But were they cloned? Here's the question. Were they cloned from the actual Big Boss? Or were they cloned from Venom Snake Big Boss? Which one? Was it actual? Because actual Big Boss went into hiding. Because that body in Metal Gear Solid was not actual Big Boss. The body in Metal Gear Solid was Venom Snake, not actual Big Boss. Don't forget that. So, was it actual Big Boss that they cloned Snake from? I know Venom was a distraction wraith because Big Boss, I thought, went into hiding. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong that I don't. The story for Metal Gear Solid is so fucking convoluted. Jesus Christ.
activating Metal Gear because Campbell thought that Miller was not Liquid Snake, but he actually was. But turns out Revolver Ocelot was actually a double agent the entire time and was secretly working for the third Snake brother called Solidus Snake, who is also the President of the United States and has a Dr. Octopus suit with flamethrowers on it. And he has an eye patch. Are you following me so far? Next we have Metal Gear Solid 2. This is where things start to get a little confusing. 2 years after Shadow Moses, Solid Snake jumps onto a boat where he is confronted by Revolver Ocelot, and it turns out he is now possessed by the spirit of Liquid Snake because he grafted Liquid's arm onto his body. So now Ocelot is voice acted by the voice actor for Liquid Snake, and he blows up the entire boat and steals an all-new robot called Metal Gear Ray. Then, 2 years later, the new president is taken hostage by the old president, so the colonel sends in Snake, who is actually Raiden, who is a part of Foxhound, but not the old Foxhound, a new version. Turns out, Solid Snake is the leader of the terrorists, but not the real Solid Snake, who is now known as Pliskin. You see, after you rescue the
and that one
but
we
not
know
the
about.
real Solid Snake, who is now known as Pliskin. You see?
Yeah, where he's Iroquois Pliskin. Alluding to the original idea for Snake, which was born from Escape from New York. Like that's the crazy part of this franchise. The idea for Snake actually came from Escape from New York. The idea to name the character Snake came from Snake Plissken. From Escape from New York, they just changed it to Snake. The box cover art of the original Metal Gear was Michael fucking Biehn from the original Terminator movies box art. That's what's on the box cover of the original Metal Gear cartridge. And then in Metal Gear Solid 2, they're calling him Iroquois Pliskin, which is a callback to the original naming of Snake's character from Snake Plissken from Escape from New York. Oh. Fuck, how does Dunkey do this?
You see, after you rescue the new president.
So what I'm getting from all this is Hideo Kojima got famous by writing a profoundly long schizo post KEKW cheer 100.
Hey, are you sure you don't mean an incredibly long shit post?
He reveals that the entire democratic process is actually a sham staged by a secret organization called the Patriots, who rule the United States from the shadows. Turns out,
chat. How many people remember the video we watched yesterday from Sydney about the crazy woman saying that video games cause mental health problems? As much as I hate to say it, how many people in the current day and age that played Metal Gear Solid 2 went, "Of course! This makes all the sense. But this must be true to life. Kojima was actually trying to tell us something."
Big Shell is actually a facade merely created to conceal a super secret robot fortress hidden beneath it called Arsenal Gear, which houses a powerful AI called GW, which allows the Patriots to censor and control the flow of information. To stop GW, Raiden teams up with Arakan.
Yes, I'm pausing a lot. Big surprise that the AI was called GW. Tornado, that was my intent. I need to put that on my soundboard. Yeah, the name of the AI was called GW. Anybody else picking up what Kojima's putting down here? How they named the AI that's basically controlling the country? Yeah, which one do you think it is, Wraith?
Censor and control the flow of information. To stop GW, Raiden teams up with Arakan's sister, who is killed by a vampire. After they upload the virus to Arsenal Gear, the Colonel tells Raiden to turn the game off because he was actually an AI construct created by GW the entire time. Raiden then has to fight 25 Metal Gear Rays on foot with a pistol. After the battle, Liquid Ocelot reveals that he was actually a triple agent working for the Patriots all along. Turns out the entire video game of Metal Gear Solid 2 was orchestrated by the Patriots to simulate the events of Metal Gear Solid 1 so that Raiden could get good army training. Ocelot is once again possessed by...
Fucking wait. Let me hear that again.
The entire video game of Metal Gear Solid 2 was orchestrated by the Patriots to simulate the events of Metal Gear Solid 1 so that Raiden could get good army training. Ocelot is once again possessed by Liquid...
Okay, again, I never played Metal Gear Solid 2. So, when you are Raiden, are you basically replaying Metal Gear Solid 1 just as Raiden instead of Snake? Or is Metal Gear Solid 2 saying that Metal Gear or is yes, kinda. I'm trying to figure out, was the beginning of Metal Gear Solid 2 just a rehash of Metal Gear Solid 1, and then the excuse is this was training for Raiden, or are they saying Metal Gear Solid 1 was all a simulation as training for Raiden? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Because I am confused. Kojima does this way too fucking easily.
Snake, who declares he is now a reverse quadruple agent who will destroy the Patriots and jumps off of a building. Then, for no reason, the AI colonel contacts Raiden and reveals that GW was only one of many AIs developed by the Patriots. The true purpose of the simulation was to serve as a microcosm of society entering into the digital age. The Patriots were concerned that with the arrival of the internet, humanity would become too fixated on trivial information like overly complicated video game storylines. Then we have Metal Gear Solid 3, which is set 41 years before Metal Gear Solid 1. Big Boss is betrayed by the boss, who is a different person, but he doesn't know that she was only pretending to defect to Russia because the United States told her to do that so she could be a scapegoat for the Cold War. After being thrown off of a bridge, Naked Snake is tasked with destroying an early Metal Gear prototype called Shagohod and eliminating Colonel Volk.
By the way, correct me if I'm wrong, chat. I played a little bit of Snake Eater, not much. Doesn't Snake kind of get his ass kicked in the majority of the cutscenes in Snake Eater? I feel like most of the cutscenes he gets his ass kicked. For a badass army ranger, that he doesn't seem that badass. He's only badass when you control him. He does? Okay, I'm glad I wasn't misremembering something. Like, that's the one thing I could think of is, obviously you're kicking ass when you're controlling him, but he gets his ass handed to him in every fucking cutscene. Yeah!
Her to do that so she could be a scapegoat for the Cold War. After being thrown off of a bridge, Naked Snake is tasked with destroying an early Metal Gear prototype called Shagohod and eliminating Colonel Volgin, who has lightning powers, and eliminating the boss, who he is in love with, and he has to steal a secret microfilm that is worth $100 billion. He teams up with a woman called Eva, also known as Tatiana, also known as Matka Pluku, also known as Big Mama, who is Solid Snake's mother, who in a shocking twist is actually...
Solid Snake's what?
Also known as Big Mama, who is Solid Snake's mother, who in a shocking twist is actually revealed to be a double agent working for China, and she steals the microfilm, but it was a fake. Then, in Metal Gear Solid 5, you play as Venom Snake. Metal Gear Solid 4, the real Colonel brings Solid Snake out of retirement for the fourth time, even though he is now 200 years old. His mission is to stop Liquid Ocelot once and for all. The only problem is Metal Gears have now merged with the technology of a cow, so he has to meet Drebin, who has a little monkey. Drebin injects Snake with nanomachines so that he can shoot guns, and learns that Liquid's new plan is to use Big Boss's biometric data as a key to take sole command of the Patriot's firearms control system. The vampire working for Liquid then throws Big Boss's comatose body into a fire because he forgot what the storyline was. Then everybody—
Wait! Did Dunkey just call this body comatose? I'm reasonably sure that this body was not still alive. I'm 20 sure this was just meat at this point. If I'm remembering 4 correctly, they had a kind of life support on it to basically keep the tissues healthy, but this thing was not alive. This thing was definitely not alive. They were keeping the tissues healthy so they could harvest it for genetic material, but it was not alive.
Big Boss's comatose body into a fire because he forgot what the storyline was. Then everybody goes back to Shadow Moses, where Liquid reveals his new battleship called Outer Heaven, which is the name of—
Okay, I will say, I thought that the Return to Shadow Moses thing was pretty fucking cool. In Metal Gear Solid 4, when you go back to Shadow Moses, and you basically are redoing the opening scene of Metal Gear Solid, and they even had the old pixelated look. I thought that was pretty cool. Like, you see, like, the flashback of Snake sitting in the helicopter, looking pixelated, and then all of a sudden Snake, like, wakes up, and it like, snaps back into the current graphics, you can actually see old Snake. And then you actually go through and do the opening scene of Metal Gear. I thought that was actually pretty cool. That was a really neat callback to the first Metal Gear Solid.
Of the secret base where Solid Snake blew up Big Boss with a rocket launcher 19 years ago. Snake sneaks into the core of Outer Heaven, which is actually a modified version of Arsenal Gear, and installs a secret virus that disables the entire AI network perpetrated by the Patriots, thus deactivating all weapons in the entire world. But turns out, this was actually all a part of Revolver Ocelot's plan the entire time. You see, he was never actually possessed by Liquid Snake. He merely used hypnotherapy to make himself think that he was. His true goal all along was to achieve world peace, but also he wants to fight Solid Snake in a brawl to the death. You see, Big Boss was actually Revolver Ocelot's greatest friend and idol, even though he killed his mom. During their fight, Ocelot is exposed to the Fox-Die virus, which kills him because it was injected into Snake by Drebin, even though he should have been exposed to it earlier in the game and died, but they forgot. Yeah. And that is the entire storyline of Metal Gear Solid. But then, in a surprise cutscene, it is revealed by Big Boss, who is still alive, that every single event in the entire series was fake and staged by the Shadow Patriots. You see, turns out, Eeyore.
Fuck. Yeah, that was that massive cutscene.
And to think all of this canon within Splinter Cell, which is in turn canon with the rest of Tom Clancy universe like Siege since they added Sam Fisher. I swear Kojima has a board with string connecting all of it. Cheer
Oh, yeah.
100.
Kojima has some seriously fucked up storytelling, but you have to admit, they are memorable as hell. You do not forget about Metal Gear, like its existence. That's the you do not forget about the existence of any of the Metal Gear games. You may
Which
not have the
franchise
story
has
straight.
a more screwy lore? Metal Gear or Kingdom Hearts?
I've never played Kingdom Hearts, so I cannot say. Yeah, it's like you may not be able to follow all of the year of Metal Gear, but the games themselves and the overarch of the lore is memorable as hell.